Hey, hey, EXP family, how are you guys doing tonight? What's up with everybody who is also checking in with me live on YouTube? All right, tonight, tonight, guys, we are going to be talking about the state of the experiential marketing industry. All right, I am going live simultaneously on my IG page at J Davis Media, jdavis.media. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, same name, JAE Davis.media. Okay. Tonight I want to talk about the challenges and the state of the experiential marketing industry. I'm gonna just get right into it. All right. We're not gonna do all the fluff. We're gonna get right into it. But if you guys have any thoughts, any questions, any comments, if you guys just want to say hi, if you want to let me know what market, what city you're checking in live from, definitely drop that in the comments. And if you've experienced any of these things to date, as a brand ambassador, team lead, tour manager, product specialist, mascot, in-vehicle host, CDLA tour manager. If you can relate to anything I'm talking about tonight, let me know in the comments. And all my account managers, my staffing coordinators, my agency owners, this is a great conversation for you guys to chime in on as well. If anybody wants to join me live, just let me know and we can, hey, make this a dynamic duo conversation, right? Where we can really just talk about and discuss a lot of the challenges and the obstacles that are facing those within the experiential marketing industry. All right. So let me go ahead and get right into this really quick, and give you guys a quick history on my experience and my background for those of you who may be new to my page, new to my channel, who those of you who may not know me. I've been in the industry now for well over 13 years, started as a brand ambassador, executed all types of events, worked as a CDLA tour manager, currently CDLA tour manager, where we execute events and tours full time with my husband. All right. I have trained brand ambassadors, managed brand ambassadors, worked with the clients, worked with account managers, you name it. I have done it. I've had an opportunity and a chance to touch almost every facet of the experiential marketing industry. So I bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the table, but more importantly, this EXP Elite community, this EXP Elite group, the You Do What book that I have actually written, is a resource that many have been able to leverage and use to begin their career in the industry. But more importantly, it is one in which I've been able to mentor and coach so many on how to move within the industry from becoming just a brand ambassador to a sought out tour manager. And some have even taken the knowledge and experience they've gained in the industry and moved on and pivot out of the industry, right? The great thing about working in the experiential marketing industry is that you can always come back to this industry, right? As long as you maintain a great relationships with account managers and staffing coordinators, and you are one who doesn't mind networking, all right? Because it's all about networking in this industry, but more importantly, knowing your worth and making sure that you live up to the work, right? To everything that your resume speaks on as far as your ability to get the job done, your ability to successfully convey brand information, and I could just go on and on and on. All right. But tonight, I want to talk and preface this conversation and really dive into a lot of the challenges, a lot of the obstacles that I'm seeing right now facing those within the experiential marketing industry. All right. So this is geared more towards the current brand ambassadors, tour managers, team leads, product specialists, and even um, for the account managers, staffing coordinators, and the agency owners. All right. So I've been working with a lot of my mentees, those who are currently in the industry, and then just being in the industry myself, I am seeing a lot of unorganized events going on, right? I'm seeing a lot of new agencies hop into the industry. I am hearing from so many experiential marketing professionals about the unfair treatment of a lot of these account managers, a lot of the staffing coordinators, a lot of these agencies, accounting and staffing agencies, the unfair treatment that is going on within the agency, right? Everything from not being given your allotted breaks to not even being able to have eat snacks, right? Snacks on site, right? To make sure that you stay fueled, you stay energized throughout the event. Even, and I wrote down everything, right? Because I've been making a list of these things and I've been in the groups as well and been hearing a lot of the same information that is being told to me by so many other EXPs that reach out to me. And they're like, okay, Jay, how do we deal with this? Like no bathroom breaks, right? No snacks. Not even if you bring your own snacks. You're not being allowed to take a break or during your allotted break, eat off site, right? Also, lack of qualified staff, right? If you are an individual who has been in the industry for 3, 4, 5 years, even 2 years, we're facing issues where we're seeing staff who has little to no experience, which is okay, but when they come on site, they're not working. They're on their phones the whole time, or they're micromanaging and trying to tell you how to do your job, or they're just lazy, or they want to go high and take multiple bathroom breaks, right? It's one thing to go take a quick break, have a snack, and come back and do your job versus taking a break and taking a break, being gone for 15 minutes, coming back, working for 10 minutes, and now you need to take another 15, 20-minute break, right? Account managers, agency owners, you guys have to understand that we, as the field staff, yes, we are, in a lot of ways, people look at the field staff and the brand ambassadors as disposable people, right? Oh, I can get another brand ambassador. I could just post this job and I can have somebody out there today or tomorrow. While that is the case, you guys have to understand that quality matters, right? Quality over quantity is also important, because when you have clients, when you have brands that you are representing, they have an expectation of you as the agency to hire staff which embody and represent everything that brand also represents as well. So having staff that are able to clearly convey information, having staff that are going to show up on time and do their job, having staff that are going to cooperate and work with the tour managers, right? That are not going to be there causing issues, causing drama, telling you as the manager what they're not going to do, and they're being hired to do a job, right? That becomes an issue, because when you have experienced EXPs such as myself, who have been in the industry for a while, and we come on site and we have to deal with these different obstacles on top of doing our jobs, it can get extremely discouraging, and it could get to the point where so many who have worked hard, right, to build a name in the industry, who have put in the time, the energy, and the effort to build a rapport with you as an agency, they don't even want to work with you anymore because of the unfair treatment, right? The lack of professionalism. Agencies, make sure you guys are vetting the account managers and the staffing coordinators that you're hiring, right? It's one thing to hire people who have little to no experience in the industry and to train them properly on how to just effectively communicate. I cannot tell you guys the number of times I have dealt with account managers who have been rude, who have been disrespectful, who have wanted me to do their job on top of everything that I had to do in the field to make sure that the event was a success, excuse me. So there's accountability that has to happen at every level, from the account managers, from the agency owners, even the experiential marketing professionals. I'm going to get to the experiential marketing professionals as well, right? Because we all play a role in this. But on organized events, right? When you're hired as a brand ambassador, you're there to represent that brand. You're there to convey and to perform the roles and responsibilities that were outlined in the job, in the contract, or the job post that you applied for. Nowhere as a brand ambassador does it say that you have to manage the event site. Nowhere does it say as a brand ambassador that you are responsible for being the client liaison, right? These are things that EXPs are complaining about, and roles and responsibilities that they have been given to do that are outside of the scope of work that they are being performed or being asked to do and being paid for, more importantly. So while we have to also keep in mind, right, that while the industry continues to evolve, while the industry continues to change, we're seeing a shift in more of the younger generation, right? More of the younger college students, more of the recent high school graduates entering the industry. So we're going to see a shift in the work ethic, right? We're going to see a shift in the personal accountability. We may see a shift in the knowledge and the insight and the willingness to go above and beyond to get the job done. We may see a difference in that because people like myself, who are a little bit older, we ain't we ain't no spring chickens, but hey, we go out there and we get the job done, right? And we understand that we are here to do a job. We are here to represent the agency. We're here to represent the brand, and the professionalism that is required to successfully execute an event. Those who have been in the industry for years understand what they need to come out there and do, what the roles and responsibilities are going to be, and to ensure that they not only have a successful event, but they do what they need to do to get paid on time. All right. All of this matters, but we can't keep having instances where we have unorganized events, right? Because that doesn't fall on the EXPs and those in the field. That falls on the agency. That falls on the account managers and those who are responsible for communicating the roles and responsibilities for an event prior to the execution of an event. Unfair treatment of staff, right? We got to talk about that, because people not being able to take bathroom breaks. Come on, agencies. Like, and I get it. A lot of you who may have agencies may not have ever worked in the field before, right? But what I don't get is you guys not respecting and taking into account the fact that you have EXP standing out there for 8, sometimes 10, sometimes 12 hours, right? Yes, we have allotted breaks, but you guys got to be reasonable. You got to give your staff so that they can provide a great experience to the consumer. Things like bathroom breaks. Yes, I understand as far as snacks is concerned, right? Not eating in front of the consumer and not having food out on site. I talked about that as a manager, right? And I told my staff, hey, I don't mind you guys eating. If you guys get hungry, if you guys are feeling hungry, let me know. So myself or someone else from the team can step in your place and you go off to the side out of plain sight where no client or no other consumers can see you, and you go eat your lunch and you go have a snack. All with the impression that you're going to come back and be refreshed, have more energy to still do a great job as a brand ambassador or whatever role that you were assigned to. Okay, so these things, guys, these are like non-negotiables, right? And the great agencies understand that they have to have these things in place in order to ensure that they attract the right staff and the right EXPs who are going to do their job. All right. We also have to keep in mind that everybody has different experiences based on the account managers that they deal with. So while myself, if I sign up to work with an agency and the experience that I'm having with that agency, with that account manager, it may not be great. Someone else may come on and work that same event and have a different account manager, have a different experience. But you guys, if you're having issues of unprofessionalism with the account manager, a staff and coordinator, lack of communication, if you're doing everything on your part and the account manager or staff and coordinator is not doing their part, then it's time for you guys to reach out to anybody else higher up. Yes, higher up than that account manager and staff and coordinator, and voice your concerns with them. All right. Make sure you guys, as I teach you guys, CYA, cover your and put everything in writing via email, because words can get twisted, words can get misconstrued, words can change. But what cannot change is what is in writing and what is in email. All right, what is in black and white. So you guys definitely have to keep that in mind. But also just know that just because you had a bad experience with the agency, with an account manager, doesn't mean everybody else has that same experience. It could vary depending on the account manager or staffing coordinator assigned to a particular program. All right. But at the same time, it is the responsibility of that agency owner to make sure they're hiring staff and providing consistency across the board with the type of staff that they hire to manage the experiential marketing professionals. All right. Being professional is number one. Being able to effectively communicate should be number two, right? And just having people that actually love their job. All right. I remember just being on one program and being the tour manager, and I had an account manager who I felt like was always after me, y'all. Like, she nitpicked about the smallest things. It could be me not reaching out, or me, it could be something small. And I'm trying to think because the tour was so long ago. But she gave me hell, y'all. She gave me hell on this program, on this tour. And I was doing everything right. The client was happy. The program was good, going good. We were meeting all the metrics as far as the numbers and the goals. we were exceeding the client's expectations. But when she came out, she found something to nitpick about, right? And I later found out that it was because she had a chance to look at our contracts and see how much we were making. And because she saw how much we were making, executing a tour for 6 months versus what she was making as an account manager or staffing coordinator, she felt some type of way because she felt like because I was getting paid a higher salary than her, then my expectations and my roles and responsibilities had to be more than what she was given. So because of that, guess who caught the brink of that? Guess who had to do extra? Guess who was having to go above and beyond? So it's little things, guys, that oftentimes we don't think about, and we wonder, like, why is this account manager picking on me? Why are they out for me? Right? And it shouldn't even make or break how you execute your job and the things that you do in the field, because at the end of the day, if the client's happy, if the event is a success, right, that's all that matters, right? That you are getting that client and that agency that positive ROI, and they are able to retain that client for the future, for future programs or future events. But again, this falls on the the experiential marketing or staff agency, guys. You got to make sure that you are hiring qualified account managers and staffing coordinators, which have a passion for dealing with people, which have patience for dealing with people, and understand what it takes in the field, especially if they're going to be working with tour managers, what it takes on a day-to-day basis for us to successfully perform our job duties. Because we don't, as tour managers, sit behind a desk, right? We don't have the privilege, we don't have the luxury of sitting behind the desk and just typing on the keyboard. No, we got to actually do some work out in the field, right? Either set up things, train staff, drive, event recaps. There's a lot of work that goes into the success of a tour or a program, right? For the field perspective. I'm talking for my tour managers out there. So agencies, just definitely, make sure you guys keep that in mind. And then also, I've been hearing reports of EXPs having a lot of clients and say that an event or a program is going way better than it actually is. All right, guys, we gotta address it. Like, if we're gonna put it all on the table, we gotta put it all out there. All right. And again, like I said before, account managers, staff and coordinator, agency owners, right? Make sure you are not putting your staff and your team in a position, right, where it could cost you your program in the long run. All right. Lying, falsifying numbers, telling them things that's not accurate about a program or a tour could only create a snowball effect, which could have a negative result in the long run. All right. So, guys, agency owners, definitely be mindful of that. And for my EXPs, if you guys are dealing with agencies that are treating you like this, who keep giving you these types of issues and causes for concern, I know oftentimes in the past, we would be scared to speak up because we didn't want to ruin our relationships, right, with these agencies. We didn't want to ruin our reputation. There was a blacklist that went around, and if you were placed on this blacklist, you did not get any other work for the rest of the year with that agency or even for years to come, right? You were automatically just blacklisted out of the industry, and you could not get any more work. So I ask you guys, and I'm gonna pose the question to you: what's more important, your morals, your values, and ethics as an EXP? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to sacrifice for that? So don't allow an agency, an account manager, a staffing coordinator to put you in a position where you sacrifice that for the sake of a program or for the sake of an event. All right. Know your worth, guys. Know your value, and know that the right agencies, the right opportunities will be presented to you where you won't have to even worry about that. And if you guys are having these issues consistently with the same agency, and you guys are posting in these groups, and the same people are posting the same information and having the same issues, then it's not by chance or by coincidence. So you guys take heed to that. And more importantly, if you're facing these issues, don't continue to work with these types of agencies if you know that it's going to be a cause for contention or cause for concern. All right. Don't even put yourself in that position. Okay. So some things I definitely want to talk about for my EXPs, which leads me right into now flipping the script, and I'm going to my experiential marketing professionals and talking to you guys really quick. All right. Some things for you guys to keep in mind and to avoid as you continue to work in this industry, and the challenges that you're facing when you're dealing with agency owners, account managers, and staffing coordinators, or even issues that you may face when you're on an event site. All right. Number one, and you know, your girl had to write down everything so I can get long-winded. So I want to stay on my points. I want to stay on my points. But number one, um, eating in front of consumers, like I said before, that's always a big no-no. Okay. I know, especially when you're working long events and long hours, you be needing those bathroom breaks, you be needing those times to refresh. But just communicate that with the tour manager or the team lead on site and let them know that you are in need of a break, and step away from the footprint or away from the activation to eat your food. Okay. It's never a good look to be pulling out some Cheetos and to have orange hands, or to be eating and crunching and smacking in front of consumers. It's just not a good look, y'all. Along with the cell phone. That's another conversation for another day. But just make sure before you guys come on site that you have eaten, right? You've done everything necessary to make sure that you're going to have the energy to sustain at least for 2 to 3 hours before you get your first break. And that you have snacks and things that are going to help you. I cannot tell you guys the number of times I have managed programs and I've managed staff where they didn't have anything. They showed up with no food. We were out in the sun, out in Arizona, 98 to 100 degrees, and they were getting hydrated, and they had to either leave or take multiple breaks because they did not prepare and plan prior to an activation. It is not the agency's responsibility to tell you to pack your snacks and make sure that you hydrate yourself and do the necessary things. It is your job to check the weather, to plan and make any necessary precautions to make sure that you are able to fuel your body throughout an activation. All right. So that's things to keep. That's the first thing I want to say. Secondly, make sure you ask for your breaks within reason. A team lead or tour manager should, when they're doing training, when you first arrive at an activation, they should be letting you know, okay, guys, here's the break schedule. Here's the list of the break times that we have today. Everybody go through and pick the time that they want to take their break, and just take a picture of it so you guys can be aware of it and know when you need to take your break. All right. But don't just be stepping off the footprint every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, saying you need to use the restroom, because we all know you checking your phone, you're on your phone, you're doing other things. All right. So, in this, let me go back. This is for those programs where you do have allotted breaks. All right. When you do have your allotted break, and the manager or the team lead is making sure you guys are taking your allotted breaks, then don't be abusing the privilege. Don't be abusing it by just taking breaks every 5, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. Because you're letting that manager know that you don't want to be there, and that you not engaging and you're not there to do your job. All right. Nobody's going to go hunt you down and be peeping around the corner to make sure you're not on your phone. We already know what you're doing. So if you got something else going on prior to the event, a personal issue, personal matter that you need to address, please let us know, or talk to the account manager and staffing coordinator, because again, you are being paid to do a job. So make sure that you are there and you're able to perform your roles and responsibilities as needed. My next point, pick and choose and work with the agencies that value you. Pick and choose and work with the agencies that value you and the experience that you bring. Every agency may not be for you. Every account manager may not be for you. Every program may not be for you. Every tour may not be for you. Every brand ambassador activation or event may not be for you. So choose wisely. All right. If you know that you've had a bad run-in with that account manager, staffing coordinator before, or that agency before, why even do it? Sometimes it's not even worth the money, guys. It's going to cause more headache in the long run, and you're not going to be happy with dealing with that individual or working that event. So pick and choose and work with the agencies that value you. They are out there, and the agencies that value you will ensure that you are taken care of, both from an event standpoint and from a compensation standpoint. Always remember that. All right. Next, set standards. All right. If you know your worth, make sure you know your worth. If you're having an issue with an account manager or staffing coordinator, speak up. If you're having an issue on site with the team lead or a tour manager, pull that individual to the side and have a sidebar conversation. Don't do it in front of everybody around consumers. All right. Be mindful of that, but more importantly, have your standards and the things that you expect when you arrive on an event site, just like these agencies and these account managers have that as well. Okay. Agencies, this is a tip for you. Make sure you guys step your game up. All right. As we continue to see more people jump into the industry, you guys got to make sure that you are putting rules, putting parameters in place to make sure that you are able to hire the most qualified and the best staff. All right. Now, I know it's tough with social media and just finding a lot of times you guys are looking at quality and you just need bodies there for your clients and your agents and your brands. And I get it. But is it worth paying less from a compensation standpoint to have EXPs who are not going to show up on time and who are not going to represent your agency in a way from a quality perspective that you would want? So you may have to pay a little bit more. You may have to offer a travel stipend. You may have to offer a bonus, right? A performance bonus. Whatever you need to do to make sure that you are hiring the best staff, you guys definitely need to explore that. But on the flip side, EXPs, if you have an agency that's willing and able to honor that and pay you guys more or above what the industry standard is, you got to come out there and make sure that you're performing your roles and responsibilities and living up to that compensation. Okay. And more importantly, the last thing I want to say for agencies is listen to your staff. All right. If you guys are reading the Facebook groups and you're getting the same consistent information, the same consistent messaging from people, then obviously there's something going on within the agency, with an account manager, with a staffing coordinator that needs to be addressed. So listen to your staff. Yes, you do have unruly staff and staff that just go on these Facebook groups and just make complaints just to be making complaints. But there are some legitimate and some valuable concerns and issues that need to be addressed if they keep showing up consistently. All right. So EXPs, don't be afraid to speak up and voice your concerns. Do it in a professional way. I always say that, guys, because at the end of the day, you are a brand within a brand. You have to represent yourself accordingly. You also have to keep in mind, if you had an agency, how would you want your agency to be represented? Staff would you want to hire? How would you want your staff to come to you to address a particular concern or issue that they're having with an account manager or staffing coordinator? All right. Now, I know at times we be wanting to go 0 to 100, right? And just act the fool at these events. But you guys got to remember, you are a brand as well. So representation is everything. And at the end of the day, if you do a good job in this industry, you're going to have work, you're going to have opportunities. But I also understand the issues that are plaguing this industry and the challenges that we are continuing to see. So is there work that needs to be done on both ends? Yes. But I want to speak from the EXP in the field perspective because that is the position and the place where I resonate with individuals the most, because that is where I started and that is where I went through a lot of the challenges and issues that I named tonight. Guys, we got to make sure that the people, excuse me, in the field executing events are being taken care of. So to my EXPs, if you guys are dealing with issues, don't be afraid to speak up. All right. If you're dealing with unfair treatment from account managers, staff coordinators, you shouldn't have to deal with that. Speak up. All right. And just understand that you have earned your right. You have earned the right and the opportunity to be able to do so. And no, I always say this, no event, no tour, no individual, no agency owner, no account manager, no staffing coordinators is worth you sacrificing yourself, right, and your morals and values. So always keep that in mind, all right, as you go through this industry. And more importantly, guys, as I I'm just going back to the things that a lot of the EXPs have been stressing to me. As we continue to see a shift in the industry and see more people enter the industry, you guys got to make sure that you are doing the things to market yourself and separate yourself from the other individuals who are entering the industry, because we are going to see a shift and we're going to see a change to a more of a younger demographic entering the industry. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be work and opportunities for you. It just means that you got to step your game up and start doing things different. All right. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, like and share it. Drop your thoughts in your comments below. I know a lot of EXPs may be afraid to speak up, and I get it, and that's okay, for fear of being blacklisted. But if you guys want to DM me your thoughts and your insight, feel free to do so. But continue to follow me, guys. I'm going to continue to provide you insight, resources on things that are going to be relevant to you guys as experiential marketing professionals, as your own brands, how you guys can continue to brand yourself outside this industry. Because like I said before, if the pandemic didn't teach us anything, you guys got to have a plan B, C, D, and E. It's not enough to just depend on this industry as your ultimate source of income. So I always want to preach that and teach you guys that from a financial perspective, from a business perspective, and from an individual perspective. All right. You guys always got to be thinking 2 steps ahead of your current situation. Even I talk about that on an event site, but more importantly, as an individual and as a personal brand, because you guys are all brands. All right. You guys be safe out there executing your events. Have a great rest of your week. And as always, you guys are brands within a brand, so represent yourself accordingly. Later.